There are many different ways to pay spousal support in Oregon. Today, we'll go over the pros and cons of each option. Hi, I'm Julie. I'm an attorney who takes the drama out of divorce through divorce mediation. There are 4 ways you can be creative in paying spousal support in Oregon. You can step down by income. You can step down by dates or time. You can lump sum pay out. And you can pay out with property in lieu of spousal support. Let's talk about each option. For purposes of this video, let's presume our parties have negotiated spousal support in the amount of $1,500 a month over 6 years. 6 years is 72 months. And if you do that math of $1,500 a month times 72, that means we have a spousal support award worth $108,000. Or do we? The first way that people creatively handle spousal support is to step down by time. For instance, instead of paying $1,500 a month for 6 straight years, instead they may pay $1,500 a month for 2 years, step down to $1,000 a month for 2 years, and then step down to $500 a month for 2 years. The pros of this is that the person who's receiving support has a financial incentive to get out there and work and start earning more money. The disadvantage to this is the person who's receiving support may not be in a situation where they can earn money at that particular rate of time. Another way to step down by time is to front load the offer. So instead of paying $1,500 a month for 6 years, instead maybe it's $3,000 a month for 2 years, followed by $2,000 a month for 2 years. We've decreased the time and increased the support by front end loading it. The benefit of this method is that the person who is receiving support may need more money to begin with because they're training, and then they will need less money overall because that new training will allow them to land a higher income job. The disadvantage to this is the person who's paying support has to pay out more money at first, and that may be difficult for them. Another creative way to step down is to step down by income. And when I say income, I mean the income of the person receiving support. Generally speaking, there are more steps to this because we're going to start at 0 to their current income or maybe a little higher. And then we're going to keep gradually, and usually about $10,000 increments, decrease the support. As they make more money, then they have less support. But it's not a dollar for dollar scenario. So generally speaking, I like to keep people in the 22% of the difference between gross incomes. And so if I start at 22% of where their gross incomes currently are, I'm also going to keep that step as I'm stepping them down and down. Typically speaking, I notice that I have to do somewhere between 3 to 5 steps to achieve my party's goals for this particular creative solution. The benefit to this is that the payor feels that they are not having to pay out a certain amount of money while the payee is making more money. An obvious disadvantage for the payee is they will be receiving less support, but they're also going to be earning a ton more money, so it's not going to be impacting them. Now let's talk about lump sum payouts. They're more complicated than you would think. A lump sum payout requires a few steps. The first step is, let's calculate how much that spousal support award should be. So it's $1,500 a month for 6 years. We know that 6 years is 72 months. So $1,500 a month times 72 is $108,000. So that's our baseline. Now we have to figure out a present value discount. So Julie, what is a present value discount? Well, let's think of it this way. If we took our $108,000 that is due in 6 years, but we paid it today, it's actually worth less today. So for instance, if I took $108,000 today and I put it into a low yield savings account, in 6 years, it will be worth more than $108,000, which means that it has to be worth less today. Is there a complicated formula for this? Yes. Do I know how to use it? No. Do I even have math professors say to me, yuck? Absolutely. But there's a site for it. For our scenario, we're going to presume 5% per year, which is a super conservative rate. You don't have to understand what a present value discount is. All you have to understand are the basic premises of your situation. You need to know the annual percentage rate. We've decided that's going to be a conservative rate of 5% per annum. You have to know how much you're getting paid, $1,500 a month, and how long you're getting paid, 72 months. And then you hit calculate and it will tell you how much interest would be earned on that amount. And then that's the amount you discount it by. So if you presume 5% per year over 6 years on originally $108,000, the amount is $18,169.59, which means we need to actually discount the $108,000 by that $18,000 and change because you're getting the money today. So the benefit of a lump sum payout is the person gets the money today. Money in hand is better than no money in hand because we don't know what will happen in the future. But it also means it's worth slightly less money today because of the future value discount that should be applied to it. The final way to creatively pay spousal support is to pay property in lieu of spousal support. What do I mean? Well, generally speaking, it's a house, it's equity in the house, or it's a retirement. However, equity in a home and retirement are not treated equally. So if we're going to do additional property in lieu of the spousal support, we not only need to know that present value discount, but we also need to know the type of asset that we're dealing with. If it's just the home equity, that's easy to deal with. We'll handle that present value discount with that property. But if it's retirement, then we also have to take into account the additional taxes in retirement. What do I mean by that? Well, let's use easy numbers. If we have $100,000 in equity in a home and we have $100,000 in retirement, and you can't access that retirement because you're not of retirement age, which means you would be taxed and penalized if you tried to access it. And when you do finally reach retirement age and you can access it, you're probably going to be taxed at about 30% between state and federal, talking Oregon here. So that means $100,000 of equity in a home is not equal to $100,000 in today's dollars of retirement. And you can't say, but the retirement's going to increase in value. So is the home equity. We're talking about today. So if we want to do retirement in lieu of spousal support, we need to do a present value discount and we need to take into account the capital gain discount. I know all these discounts, the capital gain discount for the retirement. That's why a lot of people don't do property in lieu of spousal support. And the truth is, if a person really needs spousal support, they probably can't afford to have retirement that they can't access for another 15 years in lieu of spousal support today. Sometimes, however, they do negotiate for that when it comes to the home because they want the home so desperately. Is it a bad idea? Yes. But do they do it? Yes. Finally, if we are doing any sort of creative awards, especially around the lump sum or the property in lieu of spousal support, we do want to add additional language to the general judgment to make sure that the court is aware that spousal support was negotiated, that something else occurred instead of spousal support, and we need to waive future requests for spousal support as well. If you find this complicated, there's a reason you hire a professional to do this. If you have any questions, schedule a consultation with me. I'd love to talk to you.